All right, over the last 4 videos, we've been talking about buying a house sight unseen, including from 3 people that bought their homes without ever seeing it in person first. It's been powerful, it's been amazing, and now it's time to help you take all of the lessons learned and put them into action. So in this video, I'll give you a 10-step winning game plan to do just that. If you're new here, thank you for joining in. My name is Finney, and I'm an active full-time real estate agent in Las Vegas, Nevada. My passion is to help you make sense of real estate. Over the years, I've put my experience as a top real estate agent to work for my many satisfied clients and for you with the hundreds of videos I've created about the home buying process, the home selling process, home ownership, and even real estate investing. This is to give you the insider knowledge of what to expect to help you succeed with your real estate goals. Now, let's get after it. Just a quick reminder, this is the 5th video in a 6-part series about buying a house sight unseen. If you want to check out the full playlist, click here. There's something about acknowledging the fact that if you gain crystal clear clarity about what's most important to you, you'll find yourself focusing better and taking the time to form a well thought out game plan to get it right for you. After all, if you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there? Lean in with me, my friend. Now we got to get real. You'll want to go grab your notes for this one. So if you need to press pause, go ahead and do so. Or if you want to take me wherever you need to get your notes, please just grab your notes. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time reviewing a whole bunch of helpful information inside of the 10 steps that help you know if buying a house sight unseen is right for you, and the 10 steps you want to follow to make sure that you get it right for you. Now, just a quick heads up, if it's easier for you and you just want to watch the video all the way through, that's cool too. I'm going to put a link in the show more description that will take you to my real estate website, andrewfinneyteam.com, to a blog post that has all of the information ready for you and ready to go. Now, let's get into it. The first step is to gain crystal clear clarity and focus. This really begins with beginning with the end in mind. When we begin with the end in mind, we know where we're going. We can form that game plan and we can get ready to make things happen. Here are 5 power questions to ask yourself to gain crystal clear clarity and focus. The first question is identifying what type of property do you want to buy. Do you want a single family home, a condo, a townhome, a mid-rise, a high-rise? Think it through with a lifestyle that you want to live to make sure that we're focused on the right property for you. The second question is to identify what's important to you in your new home. I normally like to call this is like what makes your house fab, right? Fab is an acronym. Think about those features, those amenities, those benefits. What makes your house fab when you close your eyes and you visualize pulling up to your new home? To do this, you want to make a list of your must-haves and those items that you might be negotiable on. To better do this, what you want to do is put your preferences in perspective by grading them on a 1 to 5 star scale, 1 being low and 5 being the best. Some of the things that you want to take a closer look at when considering what's going to make your house fab are, they include the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, size of the house in terms of livable square feet, size of your yard, 1, 2, or 3-story home, mid-rise, high-rise, your choice, preferred area of town, the price range. Do you want a pool or does it even matter? Do you want a guard-gated community, a gated community, or does it matter? Do you want to live in a master plan community or does it matter? What type of community do you want to reside within? HOA or no HOA? Consider your commute time and your traffic. What are the nearby attractions and lifestyle? Identify the details most important to you and write them down on your list. What are you willing to compromise if needed? The third power question to ask yourself is, will you have employment in the new city that you're moving to? If you're getting financing, how will this affect you? The fourth power question is, how long will you live in your new home? The fifth question to ask yourself is, what's most important to you about the real estate professional that you choose to work with? The second step to buying a house sight unseen is to pick the real estate agent that you want to work with. Keep in mind, this is a real estate professional that's going to be helping you purchase your new home worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Getting this one right is make or break. When you identify a real estate professional that you're curious about, or you're like, hey, you know what, I do want to work with them, I want you to do 3 things. Number 1, go to Google and type in the agent's name. What we're looking for in specific is an online presence. And when we look at the online presence, what we're looking for are any kind of ratings or reviews from past clients. We want to go ahead and take the time to read through some of those testimonials of that agent to get a better perspective of who they are and how they operate. And while you're at it, why not go ahead and see if that real estate agent has any videos? They could be on YouTube, they could be on Facebook, they could be on Instagram or TikTok. Go ahead and check them out. This is a great way to get to see how they operate, how they present themselves, and how well you'd probably be able to resonate with that agent. If an agent has videos, it's always cool to get to know them first. The third thing that I want you to do is to look for their past sales performance. Now, fortunately, this can actually be done through Zillow. Zillow has a lot of information about real estate agents on its website. I would like to disclose to you, it's not 100% accurate. Sometimes a real estate agent's sales aren't always shown on Zillow 100% accurately when it comes to like new home construction sales or certain buyer side transactions. Any of their listing side activity is normally fairly accurate. All the same, I want you to keep in mind what we're looking for in a real estate professional is a real estate agent that has 12 or more closings over the past 12 months. That indicates that the agent is full-time, and it indicates that that agent is up to date with what's going on and what makes your local real estate market tick. TIC is an acronym. You know I love them, so there's a lot of them, right? So TIC being an acronym for Trends, Indicators, and Conditions. Those are the 3 things that the real estate agent needs to know to best assist you and have a real meaningful conversation with you about helping you buy your new home. If you want to go a little bit deeper on how to pick a real estate agent, I'll go ahead and put up a card here for you to check out the 9 ways to pick the right real estate agent for you. The third step to buying a house sight unseen is to verify that your financial house is in order. Unfortunately, home buyers, not just home buyers that are looking to buy from a distance, but even local home buyers will oftentimes jump the gun on this one. And if you jump the gun on this one, you're not going to be able to make an offer on a house if you like it. So let's make sure that we have your financial house in order, that we get that loan pre-approval letter, and it becomes that much important. It's critical actually when you're getting ready to buy a house sight unseen from out of state. We need to make sure that everything is on the up and up with your financing so we don't have any last minute confusions or anything blow up in the closing process. Let's get this done and let's do it right. Now on the flip side of that, if your plan is to purchase your new home with cash, that's cool. Just be ready to put up your proof of funds. Your proof of funds take the form of a recent bank account statement, a recent investment account statement, essentially any kind of account statement with your name and information on it that shows that you have satisfactory funds in your account for the purchase you intend to make. Be prepared to send that over to your real estate professional. They'll need that to make an offer, and it might be required before they can even schedule a showing appointment. Now, if you are going to get financing and you want to know what the steps involved are to getting a home loan, I'll put a card up here so that you can check that out next. The fourth step to buying a house sight unseen is to schedule a game plan meeting with your real estate professional. Now, you might be thinking, hey, well, if I'm out of state or out of country, how exactly am I going to do that? And that's a great question. We have resources available to us like Facebook Messenger app, for instance. We learned about that in episode 4 with Mark Baldone. And we can also schedule things like a Zoom meeting and go ahead and review the local real estate market where you choose to purchase your new home, along with the local real estate disclosures in your buyer brokerage agreement. Let's go ahead and get that scheduled up front so there's nothing that surprises you as you move forward with purchasing your new home. This is also the time to ask your real estate professional any questions that you have in mind about the local home buying process. It could be a little bit different than what you expect if you've purchased a home before. This is also a great way to get sniper level focus on what's most important to you in that local real estate marketplace and how things are really behaving there so that you better understand what makes that market tick, those trends, indicators, and conditions. Let's work together and get this right for you. Now, as you're asking your real estate professional various questions that you have on mind, please make sure that you pay attention to the answers that they're providing you. It's highly likely that as a local real estate market expert in the area that you're getting ready to purchase, they can share with you locations of the city that best fit your price range and best fit what you're looking for in your new home. Let me give you a for instance. Sometimes people contact me from out of state and out of country and they say, hey Andrew, I want to move to Henderson, I want to move to Summerlin, I want this in a house, I want that in a house. I said, that's great. Only issue is in Summerlin, the average price might be $700,000 for a house like that, or in Henderson, it might be $600,000 for that same exact house. But if you go to Northwest Las Vegas or North Las Vegas, depending on what areas, then you may be able to get the exact same house for $400,000 to $500,000. So by listening to your real estate professional's counsel, you'll be able to expand the horizon in your search, come up with more options, and if you truly are dedicated to a certain area of town, then at least we have that insight moving forward, and you now know with comfort and confidence that you're making the right decision for you. Some of the other questions you want to be asking your real estate professional are about any kind of local links to leverage technology in your benefit. Now we're going to go over a pretty long list here coming up next of different sources that work extremely well on the national level in the United States. Please go ahead and jot them down, take notes, and please do remember that I put a link in the show more description that better help you. Click on that link and you'll have all these resources ready to go. The first resource are all about school ratings. For school ratings, you can go to greatschools.org or the nation's report card that find out how well a local school is performing. The second resources are all about crime maps. I have found that nationwide there are generally 4 sites that work extremely well. The first one is City Protect. The second one is Neighborhood Scout. The third is crimemapping.com. And the fourth resource is Spot Crime. Let's make sure that you understand what's going on in your new hometown. The third resource is about sexual offenders. I found 2 resources that are very accurate and very good to use when finding out who local registered sex offenders are in an area. Those 2 sources are the National Sex Offender Public website and also Family Watchdog. The fourth resource is all about understanding what is the cost of living, or at least what is an estimated cost of living where you would choose to move. To better understand the cost of living, head over to the NerdWallet and check out their cost of living calculator. You can also look at the cost of living index. Now, for those people that like to get out and walk and go check out their neighborhoods, there is actually a resource just for that. It's called a walkability score. Go ahead and check that out around the home that catches your fancy. The sixth resource is called Sound Score. Now, you might see that perfect home and you might be thinking, oh, you know, I'm here from a distance. I don't know what the traffic sounds like. I don't know what the ambient sound is in that area. Turns out, HowLoud.com is aggregating that data based upon the noisiness of a certain location to better assist you in knowing how loud it just might be. The next resource is all about internet speeds. I have had this one come up so much over the years, especially with Andrew. Hey, do you know if there's like category 4 wire in there, category 5 wire? What is the local internet speed? How good is it? Well, depending on what city you live in, it's really going to depend on what service availability is there. Like here in Las Vegas, we have Gigablast. And this computer behind me here, I'm operating off of an MSI P90 100X. I mean, this is kind of nerdy right there. But yeah, I can get a full 1000 down with that computer with the Gigablast internet. But it may not be the same thing where you're getting ready to buy. Hopefully it is, because fast internet rocks, right? So there's 2 resources to look at to be able to know how fast the internet is in the new hometown. You can head over the high internet speeds, or check out the Federal Communications Commission, also known as the FCC, Fixed Broadband Deployment Map. Oftentimes, real estate professionals will also be asked about the demographics of an area. Now, real estate professionals, by our code of ethics, cannot tell you what is the demographic makeup of a specific location. Fortunately, there are plentiful resources out there available to you if that's something that's important to you. Those resources include City Data, Home Facts, and Nextdoor. And the last power resource I'm going to give you here is all about your commute time. You might recall a moment ago, I asked you to consider your commute time, travel time to your job from the location you want to purchase. There's 2 resources available to help you better gauge your new commute time. The first one is called All Transit, and the second one is called Travel Time. All right, my friend, that's a lot of online resources that better prepare you for success when you're getting ready to purchase your new home. But by no means am I sure that's all of the resources available. If you know of some local resources that weren't listed here, would you be so kind to drop us a line in the comment section below? Tell us what city and state you're in, along with the website and what it's about. Because after all, my friend, we're all stronger and better together than we are not. And we can continue learning and growing together and making our tribe as strong and as vibrant as possible. Thank you so much. The 5th step to buying a house sight unseen is to identify the methods that you'll use to buy your new home. Now, there are 4 categories that fall underneath this one. The first one obviously is about seeing the home from a distance. We'll be able to do that via video. Now, there are applications like Facebook Messenger, FaceTime, and even perhaps a 3D virtual tour if the listing agent had made one available, right? All 3 of those are really powerful ways of seeing the home whenever you're not available to see it in person. You'll be able to see it in real time, right? So if you know of another application other than Facebook Messenger, FaceTime, or the 3D virtual tours, drop us a line in the comments below with that application and tell us how it worked out for you. Thank you. While we're talking about the different methods, obviously we're gonna have some phone time here. So we need to know where you're located, what the time differences are, so that we can be respectful of each other's time zones and make sure that we're communicating at the right times in real time on the phone. We also wanna go over email etiquette. What are we going to be doing with email? We're going to be sending you some listings and we're going to be communicating what works best for you. Let's make sure that we understand that up front. Going back to step 4 for a quick moment, during your game plan meeting, we want to identify your preferred communication and the time differences, if any, to make sure that we're getting everything done correctly for you. The 6th step to buying a house sight unseen is to write down the question in your mind's eye before your home tour. So what I want you to do is to actually close your eyes here for a moment. Visualize what your new home looks like in your mind's eye. Think to yourself, if price wasn't an issue, if you could live anywhere in the world, anywhere in the United States in this new hometown, what does that home look like? Okay, now write it down, what you just visualized and what you just saw. Doing so will help us start winnowing out what properties exist that match that description based upon the financial realities of your home pre-approval letter, or if you're buying cash, what your budget is to purchase your new home. If you're wondering if it's okay for you to ask how a home smells, how it looks, what the sound is like, the answer is absolutely yes. This is about you, my friend. This is about you purchasing your new home, and the goal here is to make sure that you're well informed, well educated, and that you're comfortable and confident every step of the way. This also does include going back for a second repeat video home tour if needed. One pro tip here, I would ask you, if you have the ability to do a screen record when your video tour is being done, go ahead and do it so that you can go back on it later. Please keep in mind, at the end of the day, the home that you're doing a video tour on could be your new home. So please don't be shy about asking any questions any differently than you would if you were in person. And 3 more questions to jumpstart your curiosity. The first one is, what's most important to you about your home? This is a recurring theme throughout the series, and it's a recurring theme throughout home buying. We want to make sure that we know what we're looking for very specifically by the number of rooms, the size of those bedrooms, the location. Do we need to measure the garage for you? Maybe you have a 21-foot truck and maybe the garages in the area average on 19 feet. We need to make sure that if you plan on parking in the garage, we can go out there and measure that garage and make sure it's going to be the right fit for your vehicles. Don't be afraid to ask even the most minuscule questions. We want to set you up for success and make sure that you're happy in your new home. Let's leave no stone unturned as we move forward. The second question I want you to consider is, what makes you nervous about buying a new home? I want you to get real here for a moment. I want you to really think about this one. Everyone has home buying jitters and home buying anxiety when we get ready to purchase a home. It's completely natural and it's completely part of the process. Now, oftentimes what I see people doing, unfortunately, is they can trip themselves up with something called analysis paralysis. Now, analysis paralysis is they overanalyze, and it's causing a paralyzed state mentally and emotionally, psychologically, sometimes even physically, right? Where they can't move forward. Well, how do we alleviate that? Well, we recognize that that's called fear, and fear is just an acronym for false evidence appearing real. The best way to replace fear is with knowledge, and you're doing that right now. So write down those things that make you anxious, because once we can clear the air, we can remain focused on finding the right home for you. The third question to consider is, how will you know when you found the right home for you? It's very important to think this through. After all, if we don't know where we're going, how will we know when we get there? So think it through, and if you're following these exercises in sequence, in order, you'll find yourself with crystal clear clarity. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, Andrew, I'm not completely sure just yet how I'm gonna know when I found the right one, it's okay, my friend. What I want you to do is, whether you're gonna type your notes out or jot them down on pen and paper, go ahead and break out some notes. That's the goal here. And what I want you to do is to think through those things that we visualized a moment ago, what makes you excited about your new home, and write it down, that if a home had every one of those features or the majority of all those features, right, what would you do? Because once you get ready to make an offer on your home, we want to make sure that you're committed all the way through and that you're going to be happy once you get the keys to your new home. Think it through, write it down, let's get it right for you. The 7th step to buying a house sight unseen is being prepared to make your offer sight unseen. This will take the form of using digital signatures, of course, so that we can go ahead and make that offer for you. Now, I'd ask you not to get SOS here. SOS, another acronym, Shiny Object Syndrome. What shiny object syndrome is, it happens to all of us, right? You get this home that you see and you have the video tour done and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm really feeling this property. I really love this place. I want to make an offer. Your real estate professional gets ready to make an offer, and then you saw something else just hit the market. You're like, oh my God, maybe that one's better. Maybe. Now, you may have heard the expression that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And that's a true story. And if grass does seem like it's green on the other side, they could just be using more fertilizer. We all know fertilizer comes from, exactly. So let's make sure that we don't get shiny object syndrome, that we stay focused, because when you make an offer on your new home, we would like to see you committed. Up to that point, before you make an offer and you're going on video home tours and you're checking out homes, it's really like going on a whole bunch of dates with random properties to see which one's right for you. But when you make an offer on a home, it's like making a proposal. We need you committed, we need you focused, and we need to make sure that we're doing our job to protect your best interest. And at the end of the day, you'll be able to get the keys to your new home. Now, if you're wondering what the process of making an offer looks like, I'll pop up a card right here so you can see another real family just like you make an offer on a home and go step by step with me of what that offer process looked like. The 8th step to buying a house sight unseen is understanding what the closing process is going to look like. Know who's on your team. Your team is going to likely include your real estate agent and their administrator if they have one. Administrator could also be a transaction coordinator in this case. Your team is also going to include your loan officer and any of their assistants if you're getting financing. Your team will also include a title officer and their assistants. Your team will also have a home inspector if you choose to have a home inspection performed, and an attorney if it's applicable in your state. The 9th step to buying a house sight unseen is to get with your real estate agent, your loan officer, the title company, and better understand how the actual signing process is going to take place. Are they going to be sending you a mobile notary? Is it going to be a virtual notary? We need to identify that process up front so you know what to expect come closing day. A couple of quick reminders at this stage are to get with your real estate professional if you haven't already done so, or if they haven't already sent the utility information to you that turn on your utilities effective the date of your closing. We don't want the lights to go out on you. Another thing to remember to do is to get with USPS.gov to make sure that you process your change of address so that any of your mail is being forwarded to your new property and not back there where it's not going to be doing you any good. Let's make sure that we do those things at this current stage if we haven't done so already. Now, the 10th step to buying a house sight unseen is closing day. Now, this is the fun part. This is what we've been waiting for this whole time, my friend. So at this time, we should have already had you signed via mobile notary, virtual notary, if that was the case, or maybe you even flew to town for the closing process, the closing day itself, to get keys to your new home. Now, if for some reason you are unable to come that day, we need to identify what are we supposed to do with those keys. Do you want your real estate agent to hang on to those keys for you in a private safe? Or do you have a family member in the area or a friend in the area that you want the keys given to? With your permission, we can do whatever you like with those keys. We just need to know. So think it through on closing day. What's going to happen with your keys, your garage remotes, gate clickers, and other accessories to the property? Go ahead and think that through and let your real estate professional know. All right, my friend, these are the 10 steps to buying a house sight unseen. It's a lot of information, I know. Go back and watch it as many times as you want. And by all means, please drop me a line in the comments below and let me know how we're doing and if you have any additional questions. Now, you might be wondering, okay, Andrew, this is great. I'm ready. I'm comfortable now. What's next? So as we land the plane here, let's go over 3 key takeaways to keep in mind as we move forward. The first key takeaway is to gain crystal clear clarity about what you want in your new home and when you'll be ready to buy. Remember, what gets scheduled gets done, so take some time to get this game plan together. The second key takeaway is to find a top-notch agent in your local marketplace to help you buy your new home. If you need help, please hit me up directly at my email in the show more description below, and I'll be happy to help if we have a top agent where you'll be buying. The third key takeaway is to link up with a great local loan officer to review your home loan options and make sure we get your financial house in order. As we continue moving forward, smarter and better prepared from now knowing the 10 steps to buying a house sight unseen, if you're ready to go further and you're ready to go deeper, then click here with the 13 power questions to ask when buying a house sight unseen, or click here to view another video. Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.